Good morning, and Brian, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and appreciate this opportunity to make a special presentation. In 2002, then President of the North Carolina Association of Defense Attorneys, Linda Stevens, now Judge Stevens, originated the Awards Committee for the purpose of creating an award to recognize and honor members of the NCADA who demonstrate exemplary professionalism, public service, commitment to the profession, excellence in their practice, and the highest degree of integrity. Within 3 days of the untimely and unexpected death of our dear friend and colleague, and respected colleague Bob Elster, the Awards Committee acted on this recommendation that such an award thereafter be named the J. Robert Elster Award for Professional Excellence. Anyone who knew Bob knows that the award is very appropriately named. Very simply stated, a reading of those criteria for the award itself leads to the conclusion, as the saying goes, it has Bob's name on it. Bob was the embodiment of what the award was intended to honor. For the benefit of those who may not have been fortunate enough to have had their lives enriched by knowing Bob personally, I'll try to capture some of the attributes and characteristics of J. Robert Elster. Don Cowan probably said it best when he described Bob as, quote, a pure example of the vanishing courtroom trial lawyer with the constant of professionalism in everything that he did, close quote. He continued to say he was the ultimate gentleman in every aspect of his practice and life. Bob Elster served as chair of the North Carolina Bar Association's Professionalism Committee and was exemplary in that capacity. Bob was born in Louisiana. He earned his BA at Rice University and his JD at Duke. He served his country faithfully as a U.S. Marine, ranked captain. In addition to being active in the North Carolina and American Bar Associations and DRI, he was a founder of this association. Bob was a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, into which he poured a lot of personal time and effort. His public service was a natural part of his life. His humanitarian qualities abounded. His community was the beneficiary of his leadership and energetic contributions in numerous areas, including Summit School, Forsyth Country Day School, the Children's Museum, Rotary, North Carolina Stroke Association, Centenary Methodist Church, and so many, many others. His law partners, including Jim Kelly, who's here with us, Dudley Humphrey and Steve Berlin, have spoken admiringly of Bob's distinguished legal career of over 40 years, spent entirely at the law firm, which was Hudson, Farrell, Petrie, Stockton, and Robinson, and became Kilpatrick Stockton. Bob was co-chair of that international law firm of more than 500 lawyers at the time of his death. Bob's commitment to the profession was reflected in the excellence of his practice with the highest integrity. As the senior minister of his church recounted during his memorial service, Bob was so respectful and effective as a trial lawyer that he never belittled or berated a witness or opposing counsel, but was extremely successful on behalf of his clients. In a memorial resolution to be presented to the Winston-Salem Downtown Rotary Club in November of 2007, Bill Davis, who's also here with us with Murray Moon, worked with Dudley Humphrey and Bob's brother-in-laws, Tom and Jim Douglas, among many, and said, among other things, this: there are only a few men or women in each generation who excel to heights in their profession while at the same time earning the total respect of their friends and their adversaries alike. Bob Elster is one of those few. 2 days after Bob passed away, Superior Court Judge Ron Spivey recessed his court in Bob's honor. His statement, which is on the record, reflects what many judges and attorneys across the state had experienced. I just want to read to you what is on that record. Quote, "On a personal note, I've had the opportunity to preside in several cases that involve this outstanding attorney and advocate. I can say without hesitation that he was one of the most prepared, most courteous, both to the court and opposing counsel, and most persuasive advocates that I've ever had the opportunity to see in the courtroom. I have always considered him a shining example of the best of our profession, and his presence at the courthouse and in this community will be sorely missed." Close quote. His good friend from Asheville, Jim Williams, said Bob personified professionalism and the ideals of the North Carolina Association of Defense Attorneys. John Willardson of North Wilkesboro quoted that the formation, growth, and success of the NCADA was in large measure due to the contributions of Bob Elster. Richard Bennett agreed that naming the award for Bob Elster was an excellent idea and recalled that Bob conceived the idea of the NCADA, called his good friend Bill Davis to help him start it, and served as its second president after Bill. Clark Smith of Lexington, then president of the North Carolina Bar Association, wrote that Bob Elster was a model citizen lawyer. The award, before it was renamed the J. Robert Elster Award for Professional Excellence, was first given in the year 2004 to Richard Boyette of Raleigh. In 2005, it was awarded jointly to Jim Blunt of Raleigh and Steve Milliken of Greensboro. In 2006, it was presented to Don Cowan. When it was renamed in 2007, it was presented to Bill Davis of Winston-Salem. And this year, it has been presented to Alan Duncan of Greensboro. Alan had written that he found Bob to be a great lawyer and an even better person, which leads me to an essential point. Behind the J. Robert Elster Award is the man. This great and wonderful man, father to John Robert Elster and Mary Elster Peters and their spouses, proud grandfather of 5 beloved children and loving family man. And beside the man, steadfastly has been his devoted and charming wife and soulmate of 46 years, Susan Douglas Elster. Susan is here today with their daughter-in-law, John's wife, Susan Elster. Susan is the half of an extraordinary couple, Bob and Susan Elster. Together they enriched our lives and our community. As their neighbors, Erna and I took delight just to see them walking in our neighborhood, being in church together, and attending bar and civic functions. Bob and Susan contributed jointly to make the world a better place for all who came in contact with them. Susan, we salute you and your family. Above all, Bob loved his family. We appreciate your having shared Bob with all of us, and we're proud that our association bears his name most fittingly on its award for professional excellence. If you and your daughter-in-law could come up, please. Susan, it's with great honor that the North Carolina Association of Defense Attorneys has asked that I pass to you this memorial Professionalism Award, the J. Robert Elster Award for Professional Excellence, in recognition of excellence, professionalism, and integrity, and civility in service to clients, the bar, and community. Thank you.